Justine and I have another card tutorial for Create a Smile today, and I'm going to be working with the Color Your Heart Out stamp from Create a Smile, and I'm going to be masking to create this sort of stacked hearts look. First up, I just had to create a card base, and then on a piece of masking paper, I stamped out all the hearts that are on this set, especially the big ones. I left some of the smaller ones. And I wanted to stamp them on some masking paper to create a mask. So if you don't know what masking paper is, it's double-sided paper. So on one side it's paper and the other side it's like a post-it note, but it's sticky all over. So I just stamped these. It doesn't really matter how they stamp if they don't stamp properly. I'm not really caring at this point. And I'm going to cut all of these out and fussy cut them. So this card is a little bit tedious in the sense that there's a bit of fussy cutting and a bit of masking, but overall the results are really quite stunning. So I'm going to go ahead and start stamping all of my hearts, and I'm just putting the masking tape over top of each heart that I stamped. And you'll notice that I'm stamping kind of in a random way. The way I do it with masking is you have to think, okay, what hearts do you want at the front of the image? And that's the ones you stamp first. And then what do you want to be covered by some of the other hearts? Those are the ones you stamp on top of the ones that are already masked off. And I'm just building up the different hearts. I'm trying to make them sort of random. I'm using generally these 4 hearts, and I'm trying to make it so that the same heart aren't touching each other and things like that, and that they're facing either tilting to the left, tilting to the right. I'm just trying to get a really random look. As you can see, this stamp didn't stamp entirely properly. I didn't push down hard enough, but I still like the way that it looks even with that little mistake on it. I think it looks great, and I filled it in later with some black pen anyway. So I'm just continuing to cover each heart and then continuing to stamp the hearts over top of each other, and I'm going to stop pretty soon, but I didn't want it to be completely in one straight line, so I wanted to stamp a couple extra to make it sort of an uneven edge. You'll notice that I removed one of the masks from the bottom and used it towards the top. Since I'm no longer stamping at the bottom, I don't need to protect those hearts at the bottom anymore. I just added some of the small hearts here for a little extra dramatic effect. And now I'm just going to stamp my sentiment, which is forever. This is from another stamp set from Create a Smile. And then the fun part comes where I get to remove all of the masks and reveal what it's going to look like now that everything is stamped out. So you'll notice that the stamps are sort of on top of each other, behind each other, and I think it really looks quite great. Now I'm just going to go in and color. I wasn't 100% sure. I could have left it black and white. I could have colored just 1 or 2 hearts. I ended up coloring the whole thing. I'm not really bothering with any sort of shadowing or anything. I'm just coloring with Copic markers normally. And I started out with just reds, and then I decided to move into pinks because I thought it was getting a little bit too dark, I guess you could say. So you'll notice here it looks really great with just the couple of hearts that are colored. But eventually, as I built up the color more and more, it started to get really, really dark and sort of not a happy look. And that wasn't the look I was going for in the card. So I ended up adding some pink to just brighten up the card. So now that I'm finished coloring the hearts, you can see it makes a really big 3D effect on the card. It's kind of hard to believe that it's all just one layer. I decided to add a couple little black and white hearts to add some embellishment to the card, and that was my finishing touch, other than adding a little bit of Wink of Stella glitter off camera, just because you can't see it on camera. I didn't bother really recording it, and you can't see it in the photo either. So I just thought I'd mention that I did do that. All the supplies used are listed below in the video description or on my blog. You can access my blog by clicking up at the top, or you can click on either one of the 2 moving videos to check out 2 other tutorials, or you can click the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks for another Create a Smile video.